Howdy ho, guys and gals. Welcome back to Dinner Tools. And today we're going to talk about the question that's been going around. I've talked about it in a couple of videos, but I haven't done one specific video on it to address it. And I think that it's about time to talk about what's happened to the bear. And the reality is this, and it's taken me a long time to get the nerve up to say this, but I am the bear. Yes, I suffer from, like many others in the U.S. and abroad, I suffer from a form of lycanthropy. And it's been a struggle with me and my family most of my life. And it's been difficult to come out and be honest about. You know, it's one of those things that, when a full moon comes about and there's tools in the area, the tool bear just comes out. And there's nothing you can do about it. And you don't understand what it's like to suffer with something like that inside of you and not to be honest with the people around you. And I wanted to finally be honest with you. All right. Well, kidding aside. The situation is this. We started the Den of Tools back in 2015. I think the bear joined us in, I think it was 2016 thereabout. It's been a long time. And we had a lot of fun. And a lot of people are like, well, you're doing this to hide who you are. Yet we do live streams all the time. I didn't take down any of the older videos showing who I was. We do live streams every Sunday showing me and my wife. We'd have the kids on the video. We're never really hiding who we were. I'll be honest, in the early days, it wasn't so much as hiding who I was, so much as not putting myself front and center. And I'll be totally honest, a lot of it was about just not having to set up a whole like studio kind of thing behind me. I didn't have to worry about lighting. I didn't have to worry about combing my hair. I didn't have to, not that I have a lot of that. You didn't have to worry about any of that. You could just put the bear up there and do the video and move on. And I believe in a concept, and I really do. I am fundamental in this concept of edutainment. And that people will listen and people will understand and people will take more information in when you make it enjoyable rather than just some dude sitting there like every other dude on the internet talking about tools and talking about tool histories and talking about deal stuff. That if you can have somebody fun to watch, have a bear sitting there talking about tools, that would be more enjoyable. And that's why we kept the bear around for so long. But at the end of the day, our hobby turned into a business. And it's a family business now, and we don't own the software that creates the bear. And there's a reason why we've never really talked about who that software, and it's because I bought the software basically when it started, and it's a piece of software made from a bunch of other off-the-shelf software. So this company went out, took a bunch of these other software packages, rolled them up, and then added some 3D animation critters to it. And sold it as a package. And so we use that package with a bunch of modifications on my part because I do have a technical background and understand how to do some of this stuff. And so I modified it a bunch, did a bunch of stuff to it, and started using it. Well, we started making money. Well, and the company came out and said, hey, if you're making money with this, you have to buy a business license. And the business license back then, I think, was like $1,500 or something. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money to spend on something that's at the time was still a hobby, but I was making money off that hobby. And we bought, I'm a big user of a gaming platform called Steam. And they were selling the software through there. And Steam has sales every so often, and apparently they had a blowout sale, and they were selling their business license for $15. That's $15, and that just basically as much money as you made on it, you were covered by a license. And I'm like, done, bought. All right, now I've got my business license. I'm totally covered. Years go on. We start making more money and more money, and we decide that we're done with California. I'm done with the tech industry at that time. I'm going to go back to my roots and do the YouTube thing, talking about the tools and stuff, how I started and everything, and, doing construction and running fiber and all that kind of stuff. And it was great. And we've had a fabulous time, and we truly feel blessed to be able to do this. But the company started being like, well, now you got to buy, you have to buy the top end business package. And that one's going to be, I think it was like $6,500 or something. And I'm like, I have a business license. I don't need another business license. I'm pretty good at reading contracts. As I like to joke, I'm not a lawyer, but I played one at work. And I did a lot of contract negotiation. I read through the contract I had. I was totally covered. Total business license. And they'd pester me on and off here and there for a couple of years. And I finally gave up, went away. Anyway, I didn't like that kind of business mentality. They were, here I was probably one of the biggest promoters could have been one of the biggest promoters of their products, and yet they were trying to basically, suck as much money out of me as possible rather than holding me up and being like, look, you can do what this guy does too. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is, recently, I think a year or two ago, they came out with a new version of the software. And honestly, I'm not a fan of it. I think the renderings are a joke. The way they've buried all the stuff in all these different layers, trying to make it more user friendly, but basically it's anytime you take software and you make it user friendly, it really reduces the effectiveness for an expert user. So it made it harder for me to get to the controls and stuff I needed to do to make the mods and do the stuff the way I needed to do it. And then they changed, and with that, they changed the business license, and it went from, just basically buy a license and be done to there was different levels. And if you're over this level, call us and we'll tell you how much you're going to pay us. And basically, I'm at that level now, and it would be a monthly subscription. I would be paying them X amount of dollars every month. And I'm like, well, you know what? I can just keep using the old software. I don't like the new software. I've got a license. Totally fine. Well, and then our laptop started acting up, and I'm like, well, I'll just buy a new PC. And we got it sitting right here. It's wonderful. It's great. It just does everything you want to do. Went to load. There's a bunch of software for doing this kind of job here, doing YouTube. And there's rendering software. There's rendering. There's editing. All this kind of stuff. Video editing, photo editing, all sorts of fun stuff that I use. And went to load the old software, and couldn't get it to authorize. And it wouldn't run. Reach out to the company. Oh, the company's like, that software is no longer supported. Basically, figure it out on your own, which kind of leaves me in the personal belief, and I could be entirely wrong, but it kind of feels like they did this on purpose. At least that's the way it looks from where I'm sitting. But on the other hand, we in my family, we like to look at stuff, roadblocks like this as God telling you, this is me telling you to take a different path. There's a better path for you. And honestly, in my life, listening to that voice and following that has always led to something better. And here we had what had become a real business for us, and it was hanging on the use of a piece of software which created a license, a licensable figure that we didn't own. Like, I couldn't sell, like we talked about selling bear plushies and all this, but we couldn't because we don't own the license, or we have the license to use the software. We don't own the license to the image. So we couldn't go and sell merch and a whole bunch of other stuff. We've got like one cup with him on there, but if they ever tell us to take it down, we will. But like if it became big and we wanted to sell all sorts of stuff, they could tell us no, or that we have to pay them for it. And so we decided that we wanted to be the owners of our own destiny, as it were. And as such, we'd been phasing out the bear already. We'd started getting to the point where he was reduced to only doing the Monday deals of the week. And this was just basically, the final chapter where it's just not going to work. It's too much of a hassle. There's ways, I'm sure people say you could set up a virtual machine. I could get an older machine and set it up and try and get it to run on there. I could definitely do that. I could try and fix my laptop and, tear it, do a rollback on it and stuff, even though I got a bunch of other stuff I use it for. It'd be a pain. I could try and do that. But ultimately going forward, it's Do we keep going forward and building this future on a brand that we don't own, or do we do it controlling our own destiny? And I'm sorry, but for my family and stuff, it makes more sense. I don't like being beholden to anybody. I'm already beholden to enough people with the algorithm, the overlords at YouTube and whatnot. I didn't need some Eastern European company that's already proven to be not worried about my best interests in the least bit. Also getting their thumb in there. So that's the situation, and I don't see anytime soon where the bear is going to make a comeback. Maybe we come up with some other way of doing it. Maybe we get a little puppet bear or something, or whatnot, have a little mascot. But ultimately, I think that the bear is going to be retired as of now. And I'm sorry, because I know a lot of you are huge fans of the bear, and I know a lot of you hate the bear, and you're going to be overjoyed that the bear is gone. But at the end of the day, I always said, somebody asked me when we first started doing this, how big do you want your channel to get? And I said, I don't really care. It's all about the community. And the bear is great, but ultimately for me, it's more about the community and the group of people that we have here. And it's been fantastic. And I just hope you stick with us. Anyway, let me know what your comments are down below. There's the truth, though, nothing but the truth, and where we are going forward. So anyway, you all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.